Got to talk about some good news here. At least I think it's a little bit of good news. AOC, they've been doing some polling on AOC lately, and AOC is kind of kicking ass and taking names. She has been going around with Bernie Sanders on this Fight Oligarchy tour. Keep in mind that Bernie Sanders he's like 140 years old at this point, and yet he's still pushing as hard as he is. I am shocked. So he was in Denver, he got over 30,000 people. He's in LA, got over 35,000, 36,000. He spoke to people at Coachella. It's like 100,000 people at Coachella. He's out there. And he's also with AOC. I think he took a week off because, I believe he is 83 years old. He's an old man. He's still got his faculties, but, he's getting up there. And I think that he's kind of bringing AOC along with him because, look, I haven't always been the biggest fan of AOC. I liked a lot of her rhetoric, but some of her decision making in Congress wasn't always the best, where she was referring to Nancy Pelosi as Mama Bear and, kind of not fighting like she did when she first got there. But I think that spending time with Bernie and seeing what to do and what not to do, she's really starting to say the right thing and pick up some steam. She gave a speech the other day where she legitimately called Donald Trump a fascist. She called him, a felon and a criminal, and that if he wants to kick out, all the criminals out of this country, he needs to look in a mirror. The crowd went apeshit. And she was speaking in front of tens of thousands of people. So, her star is on the rise. And, back when she first took office, I didn't hear a whole lot of people talking about her. And, back in 2016, when it was the separation between the Hillary voter and the Bernie voter, a lot of people were like, oh, it's no big deal. There's not really that much light in between them. Now everybody is running away from this centrist, neoliberal, establishment maintenance crew, and they're like, we need leftists, we need Bernie, we need AOC. So I've seen a couple polls come out recently, and one of them had Harris at the top. Now it's hard to beat that because she's got the name recognition. She was the vice president for 4 years. She did run for president, at least for the last 100 days. Meanwhile, I haven't seen her in ages. I think she's in Australia right now doing a real estate deal or speaking at a real estate conference in Australia. So she's not really out there doing a whole lot, But I believe the first poll I saw was Harris was at 28%, and AOC is nipping at her heels with 22%. And everybody else is like, 2, 3, 4, 5%. So it looks like right now, according to that polling, it's a race between Harris and AOC. And the only person right now that's doing anything of consequence for us and for our democracy is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. That's the only name in town. Bernie's not running again, as much as I'd like to. Shit, I'll tell you what, if Bernie ran, I would absolutely vote for him. The guy's still got a good noggin on his shoulders, and he still says all the right things, and he's not taking any fucking corporate money, and he doesn't take any of the bullshit, and I really appreciate that. Somebody that's out there fighting for us to get health care. Somebody out there who's fighting against the oligarchy. Somebody out there who is fighting for a living wage and clean air and clean water. Just basic shit. And AOC is right there with him, and I think it's having an impact because I saw another poll where Harris didn't come in first. Harris came in second. AOC topped out that poll with a 62% approval rating, where Harris had a 59% approval rating. Now, keep in mind, this is with Democrats. Republicans are never going to vote for a Democrat. So this whole centrist thing, starting back in the day with Bill Clinton, I got some Republican policies that I like, and I got some Democratic policies that I like. I just kind of put them together and, and maybe play a little saxophone, grab a woman's ass, and then, maybe make everybody happy. Everybody is sick of that shit because we have been compromising with fascism for way too fucking long. And look what it has gotten us. It's gotten us in a gold-plated Oval Office with Donald Trump and an authoritarian right-wing dictator and a shitload of yes-men ass-kissing sycophants ruling this country and run it into the fucking ground. So when I see AOC out there doing her thing, I'm filled with a little bit of hope. I'm seeing a lot of just regular old 50, 60-year-old wine moms who would have never voted for Bernie Sanders in 2016 are all about the AOC because they're saying, oh my God, is my Social Security not going to be there when I retire? Or, oh my God, they're trying to take away my Medicare? Are you crazy? People are waking up. People are seeing what's happening. And we need a whole new kind of political leadership. This parsing out the, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden last year just basically gave Donald Trump, they cleaned the gun. They loaded the gun and they set it on a table for Donald Trump to pick up and fire at immigrants. They seeded the ground by saying, yes, there is an immigrant problem. No, there is not an immigrant problem. Oh, well, we don't have enough room for these people in this country. Bullshit. China is, acreage-wise, is literally it's smaller than the United States of America. They got 1.3, 1.4 billion people. We've got 350 million. They have 4 times the population. Have you ever been through the Midwest? We got the space. Don't give me this shit that we don't have the room. And they come and just go, well, they're going to come in here and live off of the government dime. It's like, bitch, they come in here, they pay taxes, they don't get anything out of those taxes. They pay into Social Security for your old, dumb, decrepit Republican ass. That guy out there cutting grass for a living and making $7 an hour is getting paid through, and his money is going to Social Security. It's going to federal tax and it's going to Social Security tax. They're not going to collect any of that stuff. Sorry, I just got kind of off track there a little bit, but I am hopeful that the crazy shit that Donald Trump is doing, at the very least, it is waking up this large group of Americans who have kind of been sleeping through the last 15, 20 years. And I think that they're starting to notice that this is unsustainable and we got to do something. Anyway, folks, that's the show. Thanks so much for sticking around. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Oh, and please, if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, I would really appreciate that. Helps me beat the algorithm, and it doesn't cost you anything, and it's huge for me. So I really, really appreciate it. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Love you all. I'll see you next time. You take care. Bye-bye. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.